Welcome back to another episode of Growing with Ilona. I'm very excited to be doing our second show. And today we're going to show you how to put nutrients in here, how to finish setting up the tower and planting.
Yes, great.
All you. So what do we want to start with? You've got a basket and a clip option. So
yes. So let's talk about that just for a minute.
Okay.
So the tower garden does come with these baskets, and they're just little baskets where the roots grow out of. And these are recommended for any plant. But what I tend to use them for just the big plants, like your tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. And you just pop them in. And I always recommend to listen for that noise that it's actually clipped in. And so, yeah, we can do that all the way around so that the roots get the proper nutrients. And then we also have a clip option. And these I like because they are a little bit more sturdy. And this is for your herbs and leafy greens. Definitely don't put a tomato plant on here. And these are great because you can move your plants around.
Love
so
that.
let's say you put your lettuce here and you're like, oh, I actually wanted to move it. You can easily move it down.
love it.
So that's the two difference.
Okay.
And then the next step would be to finish off setting up the tower
Okay.
with the nutrients and the pH. And this is the only maintenance you need to do, which is super simple. Okay, you ready for what we're going to
Okay.
do?
Okay.
So you just open this lid up, and this reservoir is already full of water. We filled it up. You can see with the water monitor here that it is filled
Full.
all the way. Yes.
Okay.
And then we have a mineral blend A and mineral blend B. And so all we're going to
Easy.
do, yes, is just, and I'm just going to eyeball this right now because it does say on the back how much to put, but because we are planting right into the tower, Nikki, I want to do half the amount.
Okay.
nutrients,
Okay.
So I'm just going to do over 100 mils of each.
Okay.
Because the seedlings don't actually need nutrients until they sprout.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just going to use half the strength because we don't really need to get them a lot.
Okay.
So I'm just going to finish doing this one.
Perfect.
Yeah. It does say to use
Maybe.
gloves, but clearly
Not
I'm
your
touching
first
it.
rodeo.
No.
You've done this a lot. Okay.
Yes. And I
Okay.
didn't touch any of it. So
No, you did
that's
not.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So that's step one. And then the next step we want to do is check our pH. And it comes with a pH tester kit and great instructions on the back.
Okay.
So super simple. It just says fill the test bottle, which is in here from the reservoir. Do you want to do this?
Yes, absolutely. I can.
5 mils, please.
So
My
5
assistant.
mils.
Yes.
Oh, we only need a little
Tiny little
bit.
bit. Yes. Okay, great. And then we are going to add about 5 drops.
Okay, obviously I have to be
That's
more
okay,
aggressive. Let's go.
A little bit less. Yeah. And we're just
Okay.
eyeballing this. It doesn't have to be. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and you can see how nice and green that is. So if we look at this color, we are between 6.5 to 7, which is perfect.
Where do you see? Okay.
Numbers.
Okay.
And if it starts to get really dark, then we just need to adjust the pH. It is almost 7.5. So we should probably bring it down a little bit
Okay.
so that it's between 5.5 and 6.5 to 7.5. Okay.
Okay.
So it's written on the back. So we will do that later. So
Okay.
but all we do is just use the pH down
pH down.
and put it in, and then it'll bring it down, and we would retest again.
Okay.
And it depends on the water that you have, right? What the pH is, depending on what area you're in.
So that's easier. I got like a thermometer, like a meat, and it's so confusing to me.
No,
It's
this
just
one's easy,
digital.
right?
That was easy.
Because you can see the color. So
Yeah,
it's
I
really
can-
simple to see
I can color.
all the different colors. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we will adjust that later.
Okay.
I guess. And then the next step would be to set up our timers,
Uh,
which are actually really simple. Okay. So I will talk you through this.
Okay.
This is for the lights. We have a beautiful timer right here. And we want to keep it on the timer. It looks like a little clock.
Okay.
You see that one, Nikki?
Yep.
And then when you want it on, you push these up.
Oh,
So you push them up.
okay.
And then when we want it to go off, we push them down. So then they just go down. So then as the day goes on, this is the time. We have it on. And then all of a sudden, they go to sleep at night.
Fascinating. Okay,
And this one's
easy.
keep ticking. And the recommendation is to kind of follow the sun which is between 12 to 14 hours.
Okay, do we change that timer when we're planting in the winter and we have less we want it to be as bright?
Always. Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you have it in a window,
Yeah.
some people will say, well, I have lots of sunlight. That's
No.
not the same. We definitely
Okay.
made these LED lights on 12 to 14 hours.
Okay.
When
Got
you're
it.
growing indoors. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one timer.
That's our light timer. Let's talk about our water timer.
Watering system. So the water timer is right behind you. It's a little black box there.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's digital.
Okay.
So you can't really screw it up. You push the button.
Well,
I guess it's questionable.
Okay.
Once you plug it in.
Can I plug it in?
Yes, go for it. Yeah, everything is set up. We want to make sure there's water in it. You can see it's flashing O for outdoor, and it's going to come on for outdoor. We want indoor. So click it one time.
One time. I have an eye.
Great for indoor. So it'll water itself for 5 minutes, and it'll go off for about 55 minutes. So every hour for 5 minutes, you're going to hear this beautiful waterfall noise.
Do we want to keep that on while we're videoing?
No.
Is that loud?
No, we can probably turn it off. Yeah, we can turn it off.
We'll turn it off.
Yes. And then we'll plug it back in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really the setup. So you have 2 timers, one for your light fixture and one for your watering system.
So can I ask about the watering? So you say 5 minutes on and then about 55 minutes off. Is that like in a 24 hours a day, just every day? 5:55, 5:55.
Because remember last week we talked about the fact that the rockwool cubes and the seeds are sitting in air.
Yep.
So this is just a hollow tube, and if they don't get watered, they're not going to do well.
No.
So they need to be watered at that perfect time. And that way it's getting proper nutrients and water.
So your O or I on this machine is like almost foolproof because it's going to do 5 and 15.
Yes. When you put it on O for outdoors, it'll come on quite often. It'll be 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, which we need in this heat.
We don't want to dry out. Okay.
And we don't want to do that on indoors because we will drown our plants. Right?
That's a message to me. I've already done that. Okay, good. Okay. No drowning of the plants.
No,
okay.
Do that.
Okay, so what are we going to plant? Are we there yet?
We are there.
Okay.
And let's talk first about this tower garden. This is the tower garden home. And it comes with 16 full-grown plants. So what that means is the openings are quite big.
Yep.
Any plant can be grown there. Okay. 16. And then it comes with a little microgreens extension kit. So when I say that, you can plant microgreens, which have 40% more nutrition than the regular plant.
Okay.
They just stay really tiny. And anything that has small roots, like your herbs.
Okay.
So you can put parsley and cilantro and thyme and chives. But you don't want to get them too big, let them get too big because this opening is quite smaller. So we have 16 plants up here.
Okay.
And then we have 16 big plants down here. So
Love it.
32.
Okay.
So we get to kind of play around what we want to plant. And I know we've already started kind of brainstorming a little bit.
We did. And Ilona has some amazing tricks that she already showed me with her little tents. I don't know if you can see them. Flags.
Yeah, the little flags.
Yeah. So go ahead and say how you do it.
I just label what we planted and then I put the date on the back so that, there you go, so that we can keep track of what we planted. Some people will actually write underneath here with a dry erase marker, but then it's a lot of work to get it off. Or they put stickies and then
they fall off.
And they fall off.
Yep.
So this is a great way just to keep track of what you planted.
I think that one was over there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So rock wool is the solution, the medium. And you had a technique. I bought it at the store. Comes in like 64 in a thing that fits in this tray. Yeah. You poked your finger or pen to make the hole bigger.
So this rock wool that we had here had tiny little holes. And it's better to make the hole bigger so that we could put the seed in there and the vermiculite to cover it up and to give it a little bit of space to breathe. So I just went through with a little pen and made them a little bit bigger so that they can go in. Now, another thing is when you order your tower garden, it comes with rock wool. And the one that we send has nice big openings.
Got it.
So that's kind of the difference. So then you take that step out.
Yeah, I bought this at a hydroponic
It's totally
store or
okay.
something.
They're just a little
Okay.
bit different. Yeah.
Okay. So we've pre-planted, what have we pre-seeded? Kale, arugula, parsley, red robin tomatoes. I'm so excited. Kale microgreens, cukes, celery, dill.
Yes.
And then we're just going to show a couple how we're going to plant. Should we put these in now and then plant the rest? Okay.
Let's do that.
So let's do that.
Okay. So why don't you so do you remember that we talked about where we should be putting?
No idea. Okay.
Okay.
What would you like?
So what I would like is maybe the kale and the arugula at the very
How
end.
do I know? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I see it.
And they are stuck together. So yeah, exactly. Just lift them and try and take them apart.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And they are kind of pre-cut. Okay.
So those are your arugulas.
Yes. And then the kale.
Okay.
So why don't we stick these up here?
Oh, there are small guys.
Yeah. And then you can just pop it in.
Okay, so does it matter what I put in? Okay.
We know that there's two of them. And sometimes this is a little bit big, so I just tear it apart a little bit. If it doesn't fit properly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we just shove it in. And these.
And they're not going to fall in?
No, and these ports up here, they have a little spacer in here. So you don't need a clip.
Okay.
Those small ones.
Got it.
So that's how easy it is, you guys, to plant.
And what
So the red robins and
Yeah.
the cukes, we want to kind of keep towards the bottom.
okay, so you have red robin and parsley.
Okay.
Do you want those now?
Yes, we can do those.
Okay,
next.
so these are your two red robins.
Thank you. And you can put the parsley up there as well.
Up here. Okay.
Yeah. And then
And you can see she's covered the seeds with the, what's it called?
vermiculite.
Vermiculite.
Yeah. And it's just to cover up the seed. It's almost like when you're planting outside, you want to cover the seed with a little bit of dirt.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm putting the tomatoes down here, and then the cucumbers we will put at the bottom as well.
Okay. So what do you want now?
Well, let's do the kale microgreens because those we can put up here.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I will also bring in is you can get a support cage for the tower garden, and that is support the big plants that need extra support, like your peppers and tomatoes and zucchini.
Okay.
So they don't kind of fall over.
Okay.
Right? So we will put that on as well.
Okay. So I'll give you half of those. So
Let's
anywhere.
just put them all right here so that they're
Okay.
all the same.
Okay.
And you're going to love the kale microgreens. They're delicious.
I cannot wait.
So we'll pop that in.
Okay. And dill.
Yes. We can
I'll
pop
give
it.
you
The
the
dill
dill.
gets kind of big.
It does get big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pop it in here.
And you're putting it on those little hooky things?
Yes.
Okay. And then I think we have one celery.
Yes.
And two cukes.
You got it.
So there's the cukes.
Thank you.
They go, you said on the bottom?
On the bottom. I'm just going to pop one here. I tried to be mindful of this opening so you can still access it. Right? Because sometimes the plants will go over.
Yep.
So I'm just going to put them beside each other over here.
And where do you want your celery?
Celery, we can kind of put anywhere.
And I feel like we haven't planted the rest of these because it doesn't have, okay.
Yeah.
So let's show them how you're planting. So these are your basil.
Yes.
One of us needs to have dry hands.
Dry hands. It's okay.
Okay.
I can do it.
Okay. Actually, there's a paper towel.
Okay. The only reason we need dry hands is because then the seeds stick to our hands instead of where we need them to go.
Sorry.
Back. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have dry hands?
Yep, I can.
Okay. I can instruct you.
Okay.
So for the basil, between 2 to 4 seeds.
Okay, now is this what the package says, 2 to 4 seeds, or you're saying 2 to 4 seeds? Because these ones are tiny.
Yeah, so what I usually do is when they're tiny little seeds, I like to put more. More is better.
This is basil. Okay.
Yes. So you're putting between 2 to 4 in each, which is great. And what? It's also trial and error. So if it doesn't sprout for some reason, then we just replant. They sprout really fast.
Okay. So I'm going to put these back because they're not wet and I didn't touch them. I don't want to touch those because my hands are dry.
Okay,
so you can have those 2 basil.
Okay.
Was I supposed to do 3?
Yes, please.
Great. I'll just get more of those.
And then don't forget
2 to 4.
Yes.
Yes, I totally already forgot that.
I'm making Nikki do all the work right now.
Which is great learning.
Yes.
Learning on the job.
And there's so many varieties. So the only thing about seeds is you can use any seed. When you purchase your tower garden, it will come with a select few seeds to get started. But you can go and buy any seeds. Here we're using mainly West Coast seeds. It's just a Canadian company, and they just have a lot of great varieties. And they also have a lot of things that stay small. And if it says things like great to grow in a pot, then it's good for a tower garden because it won't get super big. Because I've made that mistake where I've planted tomatoes that were like a vine.
Okay.
It literally went all over. And once it's out of the light, it won't grow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I like to get the red robins that we planted because it's more like a bush and it stays small.
Okay, so that's your basils.
Great. Okay. Thank you. So we could pop the basil in here, Nikki.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
a couple there.
Okay.
And I didn't label each one because we will just know.
No.
And then just make sure you push them in
Ah,
so that they get water.
you might know, but for us beginners, like I could put a little toothpick
can.
on each one of them
Yes.
because I also have a little bit of OCD.
Yes.
And then I would know for sure
We
because
can-
I wouldn't know if I go left, right, or left. I wouldn't know.
Right.
Okay.
We can finish that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So peppers is
Okay.
next. Oh, it's not cut open.
Okay.
So
Be
we're
right
gonna
back.
cut it open and then pop some pepper seeds in there.
Okay.
And the peppers do take a little bit longer. But the cool thing about peppers is that they're self-pollinating. So even though they have flowers,
Okay.
you don't need to either be a bee and pollinate the flowers. We can actually just let them,
So these seeds are big, so I'm only going to put one in
one in
each.
Yes.
Okay.
please.
Okay.
See, I taught you well earlier.
I know.
The bigger the seed,
I
the less
listen.
you need.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And same thing.
Yeah. Just
So
cover it up a little bit.
Again, this feels like styrofoam.
Yeah.
It feels so light. Do you pack it in?
No.
No.
cover it a little bit.
Just lightly.
Yes.
Okay. And where do you want the
The
peppers?
peppers we're going to put down here.
Okay.
One pepper here.
And on your other side.
Yeah, I'll put it down here.
Oh, see? You're tricking me. Okay. So you
Bib
have a
lettuce.
lot of lettuces. You
Yeah.
have romaine, gourmet, and bib.
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 Bib, it's just a really nice lettuce. This
Looks
isn't
like a
the-
butter.
Yeah, this isn't the
Or
greatest picture, but there's so many different types of lettuces. Some are like really like more crunchy, like the little gem romaine will be more crunchy. The bib
Okay.
lettuce is more soft. The gourmet lettuce will have all kinds of cool different colors in it.
Oh,
so
wow.
you'll notice that the seeds will be different texture, different color because there's going to be
Okay.
different leaves growing through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll plant these offline, the rest of these, and then the last one you put in here is a flower.
Yes.
You
We're
put
going to put in violas, and these are actually edible. So we can put those in. Sometimes people use them for garnish to make things look really pretty in fancy restaurants. I personally can't eat them because they're so cute. So I just keep them as flowers. Sometimes I cut them and put them in a little vase, but they are very pretty and they smell really good as well. So just some fun. Instead of food, we can grow some flowers as well.
Love it. Okay. So here we are, week 2.
Yes.
We've planted, and now we're going to roll it on out of here, put its timers on. And when we come back next week, what are we going to do?
Well, we
we
can come up with something what we can do.
Okay.
We can definitely talk about maintenance.
Yep.
There isn't much, and we can maybe talk about the advantages of having the tower instead of
Let's
the
do that.
outdoor gardening that we are doing in this hot heat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do want to encourage, so once this gets published, we're live streaming right now, but once it gets published, there will be a form. Ilona sells these towers. You can buy these towers monthly payments. And again, I would love, I challenge all the businesses in the community that have an extra corner or some office, extra unused office space. Get 1, 2, 3 of these towers and let's have some grow offs. Let's see who can grow the coolest or the most. And I don't know, have shared food in our offices.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, I can tell you right now, I've planted a tower at my house and I've done mostly all of it wrong, according to what Ilona just taught me. So take two.
We're always learning, and that's the cool part. It's like gardening, right? Nobody starts a garden and everything flourishes. But this is definitely easier than a traditional garden. So we can talk about the advantages too.
So yeah, really interested in talking about the maintenance and bugs or cleaning or anything next week. Will we see anything growing next
It'll
week?
be a surprise.
Okay.
Some things sprout,
Right.
some things take a little bit longer. So
Okay.
we'll see what comes up.
Send us email us or text us your questions or comment your questions, and we'll be sure to answer you. And thank you very much for joining us in Growing with Ilona.
Yeah.
Thanks.